What's going on, world? Your man, Mr. Met.
And I'm Crystal Levin.
This is the M+M+M show, aka the
Okay.
show coming to you live and direct with a man who really needs no introduction unless you're a casual. Then you need all the introductions in the world, and that's your fault, not his, mine, or Crystal's. This is one of the few MCs to go toe-to-toe with Biggie and hold his own. This is the pride of Philadelphia, who went on to become a legendary MC, legendary lyricist, and then a lawyer. I don't know how that happened, but it totally happened. Homeboy, could you please introduce yourself so people know I'm not lying?
What's good, people? This is Tracey Lee, like my man said, straight out of Philly, Howard University graduate, as well as Southern University graduate, HBCU all the way around, and now with the title of Esquire. Good to see you, both of you today.
Welcome.
All I heard was money. All I heard was money. Everything that came out of his mouth just said, it's expensive to talk to me. It's expensive to talk to me. It's expensive to talk to me.
But it's also, you can get expensive without having like sort of real accolades. Like you put in real time, it seems like.
Yeah.
To get these things. It's not like you didn't purchase, what's it called? Like, Super Mario Brothers, like you get a mushroom and then boop.
Nah. Lot of years of education, and even on the music side, just a lot of years of putting in work. Like people just think I popped up on the scene, which, from a national perspective, I did, being signed to a major label. But, the grind starts way before
They
that.
say every overnight success takes 7 to 10.
That's right. Sometimes longer. You know what I'm saying?
How long was your ride? What was the ride like getting to? I mean, most people know you from, everywhere that my crew go. We know your first jump off, but what was the process getting from point A to point B?
It goes back to high school, man. I'm a product of the 80s. So, I'm really of the era of the Steady B's and the Fresh Princes of the world. Will Smith, to most people know him as Will Smith now, but I'm really cut from that cloth. And so, I had been trying to get deals since high school. And then, once I got to Howard, I figured, because I'm an avid sports fan as well. So I was looking to be a color commentator. I was an athlete in high school. I got a couple offers, scholarship offers, Division II though. So, my ego wouldn't allow me to do the Division II grind. So it was like, it's still my passion. So I really went to
what
Howard.
sport?
Basketball, baseball. Those are the two primary sports. We didn't have a football program. So, but, once I got to Howard, it was like, after trying to get a deal, it was like, let me put that to the side, get to my other passion, but, in front of the camera, if you will, as a color commentator. And that really lasted one semester once I ran into Derek D. Angeletti, and the rest was history from there. You know what I'm saying?
Derek D. Angeletti, AKA the Mad Rapper, which
correct.
You mad, son?
Yeah, that dude. If you now, okay.
See, I didn't know the name. I knew the Mad Rapper, but I didn't know the name.
This is something. This is something I need to start off with, like right now, for all those listening. This interview is not for the casual fan. We will be doing deep dives into some real hardcore cultural stuff. So if you're not aware, I don't want you to feel bad.
No, I'm going to be the one speaking for the people and asking
I want you to feel bad, though.
No, I mean, I feel bad already.
No, not you.
No, but I am, because there's going to be stuff I don't know, but that also means that I'm going to ask the questions that people want to know.
No, I get that.
You guys dive deep, and I'm going to ask the clarifying questions, because I'll be like, what?
But then once you get to the attachments, you're going to be like, oh.
Right.
Oh, it's like...
If you have the passion to dive deep, which is why I'm going to finish addressing the audience. Listen, people. All right. If you don't want to be on the outside looking in, this is your opportunity to do your Googles.
Yes.
In the words of somebody else from Tracey Lee's era, do your Googles.
Yes.
And figure out exactly what's happening out here, because we're not going to slow down so you can catch up. All right. Everybody good? All right. Fantastic.
3, 2, 1, go.
Back to it. So did D Dot find you in school?
What happened was at the time, D Dot, he's an MC first. So he was before Two Kings in the Cypher even formed, and it formed that
Original
Howard
group.
University, yeah, which is a group with him and Amin Ra, who later became a production team called the Mystery System, who would later become a part of the whole Hitman situation. I saw D-Dot and this cat named China Black rhyming in front of Blackburn Center. Now, Blackburn Center is a centralized building on Howard's campus that everybody congregated at noon and all this other stuff. So I saw him rhyming over there. This is me after I retired, you know, so to speak, and at 17 years old, you know what I mean? And so I'm listening to him and I'm like, yo, this dude is nice. So I go over there. I was like, yo, you do that for real? He was like, yeah, you know. And so we built, that's like my big bro, like even to this day. Like, so he's the one that kind of put the fire up under me again to want to continue and to pursue my passion, which is music, which is hip hop, which is MCing. And from that point on, man, I followed what he was doing, you know, again, with Two Kings in the Cypher, you know, and then, you know, as a production team, and he always looked back. He always was like, yo, Trey, what you doing? Yo, Trey, you know, you're doing this, you're doing that. And he's the one that brought me to Mark Pitts. Now, Mark Pitts also went to Howard, and people that don't know who Mark Pitts is, he is now the president of Sony RCA. You know what I'm saying? Not president of Black music, yeah, but he's the president of RCA. And so he's the one that signed me to By Storm because of D-Dot. And because
And how old were you then?
I was 26 when
I'm trying to figure out
when I got my deal.
how you were 17 on a college campus.
Because my birthday was late. You know what I'm saying? Like my birthday's in October. You know what I'm saying? The semester started in August. You know what I mean? So that's what it was. You know what I mean?
I was about to say, like, what kind of genius are you just?
No, I wasn't that. I wasn't that.
How many grades did you skip?
I turned 18 like the last day of high school. Like I was.
Yeah.
I was right behind you. Yeah.
Yeah. So
the youngins of our class.
Exactly.
You're a whole other level.
Okay, I get you. I just checking. I thought there might have been an accolade under there that he was just keeping from us. Like, I skipped a bunch of grades and went to college. And I was hanging out at 16, just turned 17, and here comes D-Dot.
I was in the Latin Quarter at 16, though, and that was beautiful.
You were not supposed to be there.
I was not supposed to be there.
Like under any circumstances, were you supposed to be there at 16?
Were you tall? Did you get tall fast? People just assume that you.
Now I don't know. I promise you that night is it's not a blur, but it is a blur because I went to another spot called the Paradise Garage. I don't know if y'all remember that, but that joint used to be open all night. So after LQ, you went to that spot, and so yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
How did you not end up on Bad Boy? Like you were so closely affiliated. You had all the ties. Mark Pitts, By Storm. For those who don't know, he was managing Biggie, I believe.
Yes.
Like he absolutely could have just plugged you in with Puff and got that deal going. How did you not end up as one of Bad Boy's MCs?
Well, funny you say that because of my crew at the time at Howard, because Mark went to Howard, Puff went to Howard, Dot went to Howard, and Ron went to Howard. Like everybody, this is all a Howard thing. But at that time, my crew was called Power Move, and then later morphed into R&F. We had another crew we had another MC group in our crew by the name of One Step Beyond. And Puff was actually looking at them. You know what I'm saying? Like they was at the house up in Scarsdale when Usher was up there, and the very beginning stages. So he was actually looking at them. He had already had Craig Mack, Big under the belt, you know what I'm saying? All these solo MCs. So he wasn't really looking for that at that time. And then to be quite honest, I don't think Puff really was into me like that. You know what I'm saying? That's just I never had a conversation with Puff, but he always used to make comparisons to me of me and Redman. He always thought I sound like Redman. So he didn't think, you know what I'm saying, that would be a good fit. But
y'all got in common was the bandana back then. Like, give me a break.
I didn't hear that either, bro. I didn't hear that.
Me neither. Like, that's ridiculous. All right, go ahead.
But nevertheless, once Mark got his situation, and Dot, like I said, I got to give all credit to Dot, and I give some credit to Big too, because Dot is the one, once Mark broke from up under the Bad Boy umbrella and went over to Universal and got his deal with his imprint By Storm, Dot kept pursuing the issue. Like, yo, man, you got to listen to this. You got to look, because I knew Mark, but he didn't know I got busy. So once he started, listening to the tapes, and he would listen to the tape, to the cassettes for all you youngers out there. Once he started listening to the cassettes, then Big was in the car with him. You know what I'm saying? And so Big and even C's, and they would listen to the joints, be like, yo, your man is nice. Yo, your man is nice. You know what I'm saying?
What's crazy? I was just gonna say, you know, when you're listening to music, sometimes it actually does affect how you hear it, depending on who you're with and
That's
how
a
they
fact.
respond to it.
Oh, that's
Like
a
if you listen to something by yourself on some headphones, you can be
Mhm.
like, all right, it's cool. But when you put it on and like people start banging
That's a
and
fact.
like expressing themselves, you're like, oh, this shit
Influences.
extra. Oh,
Yep.
this is nice. This is
Yep.
way okay.
No,
So
no,
yeah.
no, no, that's real. I mean, I tell people all the time, man, you know, most people don't like it until an influencer likes it. You see what I'm saying?
Ha.
Oh yeah, we're coattail riders for sure.
Don't have-
Speak for yourself.
No,
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
but
yeah.
honestly, but some things grow on you once somebody. Okay, first of all, I'm just gonna talk shit. Body yaddy yaddy. I can't stand it until it got so popular that now when it comes on, I'm like body yaddy. Like, I'll do the dance and I get busy and I didn't want to like it, but now it's just part of the fabric. It's current, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But that is how a lot of
And that's
songs.
that's most listeners. You know what I'm saying? And that's most listeners. But
I don't call
nevertheless,
myself a critic. Instead of critique.
nah, hey, it's
No,
all-
hey, knock yourself out. I'm not judging.
Yeah, you are.
I just don't. I want to make sure that I'm in the right room.
Yeah, word up. No, anyway, so keep going. Yes. So influencers.
yeah, no, but that was really it, man. Once
Decision-making power. Yeah.
yeah, once Mark, you know what I'm saying, you know, was listening to it and you know, of course, Dot is the biggest cheerleader. He's like the, you know, he's the smallest guy in the room, but he's the loudest guy in the room. So he's on tables, he's doing all kind of, and you know, of course, it's big. It's like, yeah. So then that's how it came to fruition. You know what I mean? Mark was like, all right, let's do the deal. And so I signed my deal in April of '96. And then to tell you how fast things go, this record started being heard, the theme, if you will, after like 2 other records had been made that we thought would be those records. Like I made a record called Showtime with Faith Evans that we circulated in the street. Clue was like, nah. Flex was like, nah. You know, all these cats in New York was like, nah. So we didn't go with that. Then there was another record I did called I Like It Like That, where I used the D'Angelo sample from Lady. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
This is back in '96. Hot record. Kid Capri loved the record, but you know, as far as radio records, you know, the radio DJs, nah. But then here comes the theme, and this is in October of 1996. So this is how fast this thing happens. I signed my deal in April. October, we got a record that they all Clue, Flex, all of them was like, nah, boo, get it out of here, blah, blah, blah. But it wasn't until Red Alert's the one that said, yo, this record is fire. And once he said it was fire, that was the OG, going back to the influencer, saying, yo, this record is hot. Now everybody falls in line. And then the rest is history.
I said what I said and I meant what I said.
You know what I'm saying? It's a shame, Mac. It's terrible, Mac. It's terrible.
That is damn ridiculous.
But people don't know what they like, and a lot of people can't see quality. Like you can't see the cream's supposed to rise to the top, but it's all mixed up. It's like we're just all listening to everything at the same time.
Yeah, it's like a for real.
Oh, yeah. Shut up.
Definitely.
The milk is all shaken. Like
it most certainly is.
But we don't get a chance to let the cream rise to the top. He's disgusting.
Some people do, some people don't. I'm not here to judge your lifestyle, player. Whatever you do.
My friend, change the subject. My girl said she was going to Colorado. I said, for what? And she went like this. And I go,
oh, wow.
2? For those listening, she was doing ski moves. And I said, were you jerking off too at the same time? She was like, nasty. But anyway, back to quality. Back to quality, though.
Yes.
No, a lot of us don't know how to hear it. Like, what makes quality to you? We were talking to last week. We talked to Bishop Brigante about what's it called? The rooms that he's got on Clubhouse, and they stack the top 3 or the top, you know, whatever from each city.
Yeah. Of which Tracey is the usual suspect.
Right, and they actually have criteria. The problem is most of us don't have criteria. We don't have like a set level of like things that we're talking about like or enjoy versus quality, lyricism, commercial success. What are the other ones that he said?
Critical success, commercial success, longevity, body of work.
There we go.
That's for determining the greatest. That's not necessarily for determining the best or even your favorite, which can be 3 separate things.
Right.
For instance, by that criteria, body of work, longevity, commercial, critical success, all that good stuff. Jay-Z is going to round out as the greatest because he checks all those boxes at a high level.
Right.
Does that automatically make him the best MC?
Yeah.
Nah, not even. There are MCs who I put above him in skill level, but they don't check off all the other boxes.
Right.
Does that automatically make him my favorite? No, he's one of my favorites, but that criteria only qualifies him as the greatest. My comparison for that, for trying to make people understand, is, if you're a football head, you understand that while Tom Brady may be the greatest, Aaron Rodgers is a better quarterback. He's a more skilled quarterback. He does things that Brady just can't do. However, if we're talking about the greatest of all time, then Aaron Rodgers gets the nod.
Right.
But does that make him the best?
Tom Brady gets the nod.
Tom Brady gets the nod. Right. Tom Brady gets the nod. Does that make him the best? Nah. Some of the greatest MCs can't outrhyme my favorites. They can't. They can try, but it'd be embarrassing.
I was going to compare it to modeling. I was like, the prettiest girl isn't necessarily the one that gets the biggest contract or the most recognizable or the whatever. Like, she just has more success. Therefore, she's a better look. No.
Right.
She just won. They're winning, and therefore they either have the team or they have the money or the whatever to create that thing, or just keep going. Or nothing against Jay-Z, but I do like quality better.
One of the biggest DJs in the world is Funkmaster Flex.
Yeah.
But on turntables, going one-on-one, Kid Capri would bust his ass. Excuse me. I'll do you even better than that. Jazzy Jeff of the Fresh Prince would bust his ass. And
easily.
Like it wouldn't even be close. Jazzy would kill him. And he's one of the biggest DJs out. Like, you can't say Funkmaster, you can just say Flex and everybody knows who you're talking about. But if they had to compete one-on-one,
embarrassing.
All he does is drop bombs.
No, he can spin.
He can DJ. He can.
I haven't witnessed it much.
All of that.
I'm sure he's capable.
He can. I've absolutely seen him in shows doing his thing. He can spin and get busy.
Okay.
With that said, Jazzy Jeff of the Fresh Prince would bust Flex's ass. And Flex wouldn't even want that smoke if he was smart.
Nah.
And that's the difference between the greatest and the best.
Well, okay, I got a question. So we know your commercial success. What's your favorite project or song, both of your own?
You want to go first, Mac?
Well, because you just listed two that didn't make it, that you were,
No, she's talking to you, bro. This is your interview.
She said both of us.
No, both project and song.
Oh, what's my favorite?
Yeah.
Of somebody else's?
No, of
mine?
Of yours.
We
know commercial success. That's just popularity, right? Or
right. Project, definitely. This my latest, Glory. It's not even close, honestly. Just because of the way that I went about doing it. Like, I've never written a project. Like, I have 5 albums that I've done, one of which you've heard, 4 of the others you probably haven't, including Glory. But Glory is the only project that I've written actually in 2 months. Like, and people that know my process know I don't work like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm very meticulous about the things that I say and how I put it together and all the other stuff. This particular project just flowed. It was almost like the pen was writing by itself. It was as if I was a vessel. You see what I'm saying? It was like divine intervention going on here. I wrote it in the middle of the pandemic. So we got all of these things going on around me. And then we put it together where, and shout out to my brother OJiz who produced the entire album. Actually, he did my last 2 projects. But the kid is he's not a kid, but he's 20 years younger than I am. But he provided me with a sound, a youthful way of being me. You see what I'm saying? Because it still has those, those elements from my era, but he added that flavor of today, you know what I'm saying, within the mix of that. But we were able to sequence the album before I even wrote a word. And then, so musically, sonically, it was already we already created a sound that we wanted to have and a theme that we wanted to have for the album. But then I wrote each rhyme or each song in order from 1 to 12. So again, it wasn't like I took songs and mixed
And
them,
had to sequence them. You
you know
wrote
what I'm
them in a
saying?
story.
And I wrote it as if it was a story. And so just that process alone, this by far is my best project. You know what I'm saying? As far as song is concerned, I mean, you know, the natural gravitation is, you know, the me and Big joint, you know, just based on the experience. You know, the theme, I like the theme, but the thing I don't like about the theme is that I get pigeonholed a lot of times to the theme, because the theme is the only thing, which is Party Time, which is a song that probably most people know more than anything that I've done. So they automatically put me in that box. They don't even know
that from you, right?
Right. They don't even know the skill set. They don't even know, like, you know what I'm saying? Like that record right there, honestly, that D-Dot came into fold and he had to coach me, not write. He had to coach me how to write that way. Because prior to that, it was straight. I mean, I'm a spitter. So it was the things that I was doing was from the block. Things that I was doing was da 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 da. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, all of that. He had to show me or coach me how to, you know, take some words out, how to make it more melodic, how to, you know what I'm saying, but still be me. You know what I'm saying?
Be popular, yeah.
Yeah, so I love that record because it definitely put me in places I've never been and still continue to be because of that record. But it's not my favorite record. Like the Big joint, and I got another joint on another album on ESQ that I've done. It's called Vision, which really breaks down my hiatus. It really gives you a deep dive into really what happened. Like in case, you know, you thought I fell off or disappeared. Like I'm very transparent about what happened in the business. I'm very transparent about my feelings toward Mark and Derek and the things that I thought that they did personally to me in this game. You see what I'm saying? And you know, me and Dot, you know, we had an exchange about it, and he was kind of salty at me at first, but then he kind of understood after the fact, like that. I mean, am I lying? Nah, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I'm not lying about anything that I said. So, but it's just that I happen to now voice what I've been feeling over all of these years and put it in a musical form and put it out there for people to consume and digest and things like that. But that's a deep, dope record. You know what I'm saying? So
did Dot actually confronted you after he heard that record?
Oh, yeah. We had, you know, a phone call, you know what I'm saying? Because I shot a video too, and I had some old footage, you know what I'm saying? And so I was showing faces and all this other stuff, and it's like, yo, you got me on blast, da-da-da, and you saying this and that, the pop, you know what I mean? But again, okay, so I tell people all the time as a writer, you know, if it wasn't for the fact that God gave me a gift to write and spit and all of that, I'd probably have to go see a psychiatrist. You see what I'm saying? Or something like that, because this is an outlet for me. And so for me to be able to, you know what I mean? So for me to be able to hold all of that for those many years, I had to figure out a way to get it out. You see what I'm saying? Without being angry, without being like, yo, I'm coming to see you. And this was the perfect way to do it. Now, how somebody feels after that, it really wasn't my concern. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm looking out for my well-being and all that kind of stuff. But I can see how you could be salty, you know what I'm saying? Because if it's not showing you in a positive light, then yeah, you're gonna have some type of reaction to it.
But if it's showing you in an honest light, though, like okay, and even that's not 100% fair, I guess, because everybody is the villain in somebody's story, right?
Absolutely.
Everybody. You could think you're doing the right thing, turn around, somebody's looking at you like you crazy. Now, the only question you need to ask yourself when that happens is that person entitled to feel the way that they do? Are they justified in making me the villain? Am I legitimately the bad guy, or
from their perspective, right?
Are they warping things to make me the bad guy? Are you switching things around so I look terrible because you don't want to take accountability for what you did? Those are the only two things that really come out in the wash. I just make it a point that if I'm going to be the bad guy, it's either something I'm cool to take accountability for, like I did that, totally did that, you had it coming, sorry, but I did that. Or you have to perform those mental gymnastics in order to make me the bad guy.
Right. Right.
I did the right thing. You know I did the right thing. You're just not happy about how it came out, but you know that I did the right thing.
And the only thing that I did, which is really and you know, after the fact, I had to think about it, and it was really my fault because of the way I looked at the business. The only thing that I did is I said, how could you do that? How could you not inform me of how this business is? And you're supposed to be my man. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Right.
So
This was on my back.
in other words, I mixed friendship with business. That's exactly what I did. I mixed friend and I made certain assumptions, you know what I'm saying, based on prior friendship before we got to the signed contracts and before we got into bed with regards to doing business. That was my mistake that I didn't understand. You know what I'm saying? And so with that came some feeling behind it. You know what I mean? So, and that's really what I said on the record. Like, yo, y'all couldn't give me a warning. You know what I'm saying? Y'all couldn't give me like, yo, this is what's going to happen coming down the line. Because you got to remember back then, man, all I wanted to do was get on. All I wanted to do was play music. You know what I'm saying? I ain't want nothing to do with the as far as the business acumen of the industry is concerned. That was not my concern. But that was naivety on my part. You see what I'm saying?
To think that you could stay in that
Exactly.
in that bubble.
Artists fell into that trap.
Yep.
So
As most of us do. As most of us do.
Yeah, but
I mean, it's like those Where Are They Now shows, and you know, every single one they're discussing their first deal and how they didn't know and weren't warned, either didn't have proper lawyers, didn't have lawyers, signed whatever it said, all the what's it called when you have to pay it back?
360
recouping.
Yeah.
All the recoupment, like they thought they were living high, private planes, wearing
What you
whatever.
got to do is look at New
all
Edition
your
for that.
videos.
Yeah. But that's all about
Braxton,
design.
yeah.
But that's all about design. They prey on the naive. You dig? And then, but the thing is, what do you do after you figure it out? You know what I'm saying?
Well, okay. So in that situation, with the criteria that I just described, Dot has some things to answer for. Like, okay, business-wise, you operated in a business way.
Really, Mark. Let's put
Mark D. Dot, like,
yeah.
if they were your man, you know what I mean? If they, I consult people professionally when it comes to the music industry, deals, strategies, etc., marketing, etc., etc. If you my man, and I let you sign something that I know is fugazi, and I'm letting you do it because that's the way the game go, but I'm not telling you about it, that's kind of on me. That's me.
So
I should have did something.
So let me be fair. It wasn't necessarily the deal per se, because the deal that I signed was pretty standard back then. You know what I'm saying? 55th on the pub. It was a co-pub. It was 8 points or something like that. You know, whatever artist was signing for at that particular time, you know, prior to, you know, Master P coming along and being the genius that he is and really shifting the business for the better. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't really that. It was, now that we're here, what are the proper steps to take? You see what I'm saying? Like, you know, I did one album under Universal, and then under Boston Universal, and then Boston goes to LaFace after the first album. Now, mind you, like I told you how fast this thing went. It went from being signed in April to really the record start getting played in October, November, released the actual record in January nationally, put the album out March, you know, same day as Big. You see what I'm saying? So when do people have an opportunity to understand and know who Tracey Lee is, right? Building the artist in order to have success. So if you don't build the artist to have success, when it's perceived as being a failure under a new system, which is Universal, which knew nothing about pushing hip hop. You know what I'm saying? This is a brand new company here. Universal just has no clue. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So now it's really the company looking at, you know, wins and losses, checks and balances. I mean, not checks and balances, in the red or in the black.
Right.
Oh, we in the red? Oh, we got to cut that off. You see what I mean? Let's write that off. We'll take what's in the black, take what's in the red. We'll balance that out. Take our losses, you know, make sure our books are straight, blah. They're not looking at it from a musical stand, building the artist cultural. They're not looking at none of that. So then I become the sacrificial lamb. These are the things that I was not aware of. You see what I'm saying?
Mm.
Right.
These
How
are the
you were going to fit into a new company, how you're
Right.
like would or
right,
wouldn't. Yeah, yeah.
right. So then that becomes another discussion. That becomes okay. So how do we
Now what happens?
how do we work around this?
Mhm.
How do we build the artist now? You see what I'm saying? Those are the things that I was kind of agitated about, and because you take your company and you go to LaFace, but yet you leave me on Universal, or should I say, Universal says that they want an opportunity to make their money back. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because they've given you by storm this money, you didn't make that money back, so you can go wherever you want. But we need an opportunity to make our money back, and we'll keep Trey, who's the most successful artist that you had on your label. Which at first I bought it. I bought that. But then
Mhm.
after I had to think about it, I was like, wait a minute, I was already in the red. You're going to give me more money to put me deeper in the red. People still don't know who I am. So how am I going to get out of, instead of 800,000, now we like 1.1, 1.2 in a hole. You know what I mean?
How were you ever in the hole? Those records were huge.
Man, listen, again, this is the lack of education. I have no idea. You know what I'm saying?
That's why you became an entertainment attorney.
Absolutely.
Yo, a
Okay.
friend of ours that was.
I had no desire to go back to school, man. I had been out of school 10 years. I'm like, why am I going back to school? But
But
this
knowledge is power. Knowledge is for real.
you know what I'm saying?
Eight more years to go get your attorney on.
Nah, it's 3. It's a 3-year program.
Oh, 3. Oh, why
Because
did
you
I
already
think it
had
was 8?
undergrad. Because you already had undergrad.
Yeah, I already had undergrad. I had
total
graduated
is about 8.
by the time I signed my deal. Like I was 26 years old when I signed.
Oh, got it. So you did them first 4, 5 undergrad, right? Okay, got it. Makes more sense. But this is in the comic books. This would be how supervillains are made. If they get jerked over ridiculous
so
and then they
also
come back with superpowers and just burn the whole building down. This is how a villain gets created. This is the Joker.
Yeah.
This is a Joker
sure.
origin story.
What I was gonna ask though is like, so how do you come back, like mentally or I guess business, music, perception wise, after being a perceived loss or perceived unsuccessful release, or how do you?
I mean, I attribute all of that to my upbringing. Like, like even when I was signed, I never had like bodyguards and shit like that. Never, like whenever I would go to cities, I would always go to where my people were. You know what I'm saying? Like I never, took on this star persona, right? So it was nothing for me after, because a lot of artists can't handle when they start in one place, you know what I'm saying, get this fame, fortune, whatever,
They fall
and
from
then
grace.
have to go back to that. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
To me, it was no transition at all. As a matter of fact, I had moved down to Atlanta, and was attempting to keep things going after I got dropped from Universal. I put out an independent record, actually financed by Marlon Wayans. Shout out to that brother. He went to Howard too. That's my guy.
Salute.
You know what I'm saying? Was on that grind, and it got to the point where I had to start working at furniture stores. Like I worked at this place called Aaron's, delivering furniture. I never forget. One day I was bringing somebody's couch in the house, and I put the couch down, and them cats were sitting, playing video games, and they watching BT, got the smoke in the air and all that.
Oh no.
Yeah.
And party time comes on the too.
Oh
So,
no.
Hold on. So they playing the shit. After we put the couch down, they playing. They looked at the joint, and they looked at me. They looked at the joint. They looked at me. They was like, "Yo, what the hell are you doing in here?" And so I started telling them, and I wound up just sitting down, smoking with them too, and all of that. And then they was like, "Yo, you the realest thing I ever met in my life," like that, because that's just
Right.
what it was. So going back to your question, mentally, I thank God every day. Like I never lost it mentally. It was really
Right.
the pivot. I need some answers now. I need some clarity. Like this is prior to me saying, okay, I'm gonna go to law school. So it was really, I was searching for the clarity. But in the meantime, in the between time, I'm a hustler. I'm gonna have to do what I gotta do. You know what I'm saying? So, but I wasn't going back to selling and none of that shit. It was, let me figure this thing out, put my faith out there and stay prayed up and continue to grind and until something comes to fruition. And lo and behold, you know what I'm saying? This is what happened. Boom. You know what I mean?
What does glory mean? Like, what is it?
Oh
What do you
man,
mean by it?
it's It's just what I
I just
said.
keep seeing it behind your face. So I keep,
No, it's
sorry,
just what I said.
And on his shirt.
Listen, it's no matter what, because I've been through some trials and tribulations in my life, but no matter what, I still holler glory. You know what I'm saying? Because I've always, in my life and in my experience, my 50 years of being on this earth, God has never failed me, no matter what. You see what I'm saying? No matter how bleak it gets, how low it gets, how high it gets, you know what I'm saying? I still got to say that word because I'm just thankful. You know what I mean? I'm just thankful. We here, we talking. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of people don't bounce back from, those initial, from like childhood actors to rappers. So many people go left trying to keep those glory days going. They end up going back to selling, or
Facts.
you see them struggling to make these terrible albums and jerking
Or
people
they-
and owing money and
or they lose it emotionally. Like there's people, I mean, I'm not, forgive me, I'm going to speak out of turn or whatever, because I don't know him personally and I don't know his story, but D'Angelo, you brought him up earlier, and he had such a huge career, and then, it was clearly some issues, which I can't speak on specifically because I don't know the details, but we all speculated,
No, it's definitely a struggle, man. And a lot of it has to do with ego. You know what I'm saying? A lot of it has to do with ego. Your ego can't tolerate. It can't accept. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It
wants to believe a certain
exactly. And so the minute and I'm not saying it's easy. And I don't know if we've talked about this, but I think I've talked about this with Royce. We talk about the just the mental and the psyche, you know what I'm saying, of specifically the entertainer. I one of my next goals is to go back once my kids get of age and out of the house and all that, which is going to be some time. They're 6 and 4. I started late in the game. I want to go get my PhD in psychology. You know what I'm saying? Because I think the game needs that type of persons or people, you know what I'm saying, that are willing to, they need somebody to talk to, because this game could be vicious and rough on you. You know what I mean? From a mental perspective. Like I said, people don't bounce back from this shit. You know what I mean?
Talk about the difference between IQ and EQ. Is really understanding, like, you could be the smartest person in the room when it comes to, like, the SATs, which I aced, claim to fame, but that doesn't help me. But that doesn't help me figuring out, I mean, you could call it street shit, you could talk it people shit, like really just dealing with interactions, with relationships, with disappointment, with all those things. Like I used to be the person that if my ice cream fell, like my day was ruined.
And it's interesting.
And you can't unspill the milk, but you can choose how to react. You can choose, and that's literally like 90% of life is how you react to what happens. You can create things that happen, but
I get pissed if I didn't have ice cream money. My day was ruined if I didn't have ice cream money. That's when my day was ruined. And everybody else was around me.
Just the ice cream money.
And it wasn't the ice cream, really. My day was ruined if friends cancel on me. It was really about people, about social stuff. If I found out somebody talked about me, I was ruined. And that was like my younger self. And it took years to really figure out that, like, not just water off. I don't want to have a wall up. I didn't want to be be blocked off and not care. Because people are like, giving zero fucks. People are like so proud of that. I'm like, no, I want to give fucks. But if you give too much,
then what?
Power to everyone else.
See, that's ego. That's exactly what that is. Because you're really not giving power to anybody else. You know what I'm saying? That's really just how you feel. But your ego is saying, no, if they see me like this, then they're gonna try to fuck me over. They're gonna try that. They're gonna do this to me or that to me or perceive me in a certain way. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I get it. I get it.
But it was two. It was like either don't let them see me that way, or I just completely fall apart and everybody can see. And they really do look at you like that. They're like, dude, this girl can't handle like one criticism. Like I really had to get a thicker skin / I guess get real about what people say about you versus what you know to be true.
That's a fact.
And that's maturity, that's growth. Like I always say, I was like, when people think that I'm younger, I'm like, thanks, but I want to earn my stripes. Just like when you say your age, we always on this show, we try not to discuss age because people are ageist. Right. But I think of age as like notches on your belt, like
I'm proud of that shit. I'm proud.
No, and I said I was 22 to sound younger, and I was 25, and people were like, "You don't know nothing." And I was like, "No, I'm divorced. I've been through college, been through this, and been through that." I was like, "I earned this opinion." Like, I don't want to be seen as a little girl.
I don't know. Maybe I'm alone in the world.
What's up, man?
Why?
I don't.
Look at him. He's going through it.
No, it's just well, okay. One of the reasons why I don't respect ageism so much and why I guard so much against it on this show is specifically because I've seen it go wrong in both directions. I've seen people get dismissed because they're younger, regardless of their experience. They just get dismissed. All their experience get dismissed.
You're a baby. Yeah.
Or I see people get dismissed because they're too old.
Written off. Yeah.
Or now they're written off because they're too old. And then in the other direction, I've seen people who are young try to wear that like a badge of honor. The first thing they'll tell you is, I'm only 19, but I've done I'm only 22 and I'm out here doing blah, blah, blah. You look at them like, no, I'm not impressed. That means nothing to me. Or on the other way, you get somebody who will tell you, yo, I'm 50 and I've done X. Yeah, but you didn't do nothing but stay alive. Like all you did was live. You just been out here being 50. That's it. You were 50 at 30.
Staying alive.
Like you were 50 when you were 20. You all you did was stay alive. You can't help anybody do anything. You didn't learn nothing. Right. All you learned how to do was get to 50.
If you're 50 and you still say that's just how I am, that's right.
Then all you did was get to 50 and then stay still.
And
that's real.
That's so corny to me. That's why I don't know. I'm just, when it comes to a lot of stuff, including how people speak, what people think, I won't say that I have a wall up because I don't think that's true. I think when I care about somebody, I really give a damn about them. Like whether it was something that they did, an accomplishment, or just whatever, my personal attachment. I don't know Tracey that well. You dig what I mean? Me and him have been chopping it up on Clubhouse, and I think he's a cool ass dude.
Likewise.
Just from all the conversations we have, me to sit here and talk to you like we were in the trenches together in Howard. No, however, I feel strong emotional attachment to what he was able to accomplish culturally because I have such a love of the culture, and because he did such a positive thing for something that I love. I got a lot of love for him. It's like if I don't know you, but you gave my mother $1,000, well, that automatically endears you to me because of how much I love my mother. Which is why
fans will literally argue their favorites with each other that they have never met.
Right, because
that
they have an attachment.
Their life.
They have an attachment to whatever it is. However, I do find myself, by and large, indifferent to a lot of things. A lot of things. It's I don't know if I don't care is the right word.
Opinions, judgments,
people, judgments.
News bits that don't matter.
Point of views, I find myself like sometimes I think something's wrong with me.
You're a psychopath.
I'm not sure.
I think I'm like Mac, man. I am indifferent to a lot because to me, a lot of things just don't matter. Like in the grand scheme of things, at the end of the day,
barely any of it matters. Like I get affected. I get affected when somebody's talking about me only because I start thinking about how can this affect my career, not my reputation. I just know the kind of business I'm in, so I have to make adjustments because of where I work and what I do. I have to make adjustments. My reputation becomes a thing. I have to kind of keep a hold of my reputation. But if it wasn't for the business I was in, if I was independently wealthy, if I was already rich and didn't have to care, didn't have to have that concern, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't care. I'd walk right up to somebody talking bad about me and be like, yo, that's brand new. I've never heard that. And then I keep it pushing. I wouldn't even smack people.
You know what? Good friend Shaggy told me being wealthy is having fuck you money. And he meant anybody does anything or makes any offer that you don't want to do, you can fuck it or fuck you. Like that's wealth. He's like, rich is having a lot of money. But wealth is when you can literally say, I don't need anything from anyone. I can say no to anything. Saying no to the Super Bowl, saying no to a song with someone, the hottest new whatever, like saying no and you could be wealthy without having a certain dollar amount. If $1,000 is wealthy to you and you could say, I got rent paid.
But you know
F
what
you.
that is? You know what that is? That's understanding your value and your worth. And like you said, it has nothing to do with money. And I preach that to my clients all the time. It's like whenever you're negotiating, in my mind, I'm always saying, always be prepared to get up. Don't act like you have to take a deal, the deal that comes across your desk or on your plate or at your table. Don't feel like you have to take that. You know what I'm saying? Always be prepared to get up. And so it speaks to exactly what you're talking about.
Is it the person in the room that needs it less or that can say no is the one with power?
Yeah, right.
That kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah, because if you're desperate, well, I made a bet the other day, and I'm going to share this on our podcast. I've been doing extra work. I've been, like I took it down some notches because took what's available. Boom. Pride was in the way. Now it's not. We took unemployment during this time, like all kinds of things, right?
Yes.
So I had some pasta, and my friend dared me to eat the bowl of pepper flakes just because I pretended I was going to throw the whole thing on there. He's like, I dare you to eat it. And I was like, I'll do it. He goes, 100. And I go, nah. He goes, 200. I go, yes. He goes, never bet a desperate person, because I it was painful. But it was 30 seconds of pain for what I get paid for a whole day sitting around on a set. I was like, dude, I will eat pepper flakes for 30 seconds every day.
If you're gonna bet me $200 to hurt myself, I'm just gonna make that decision in that second that you are not actually my friend, and then I'm gonna punch you and take the money.
Well, it was digital. I would have had to get the password and make him Venmo me the money.
Yeah, we now have a completely and totally different understanding. If my man is desperate enough to do something like that, I'm just gonna give him the dude, here, take it. Don't do that.
I mean, it was funny, and I like hot stuff, so it was like to an extent.
Cool. I'm glad it worked out for you,
Like
but you start putting me up to do something god awful to myself for money. I'm gonna just make the decision. We're not friends in that moment.
How long did it burn?
I'm gonna put you on that side of the line.
It took me like 30 seconds to chew it because it's pepper flakes. They don't like crumble, and they're like waxy and weird. And then one eye was starting to water, but that's it. It just for a couple of minutes, my mouth it felt like I had like super hot wings. But it was just more awkward. It was like sawdusty. Like, I have a video.
$200, I probably would have did that.
$40, Trey.
No, I said 200. She said 200.
Yeah,
I thought you just said $40. I probably
no.
Okay, no. Okay, I want to play a game though. What's the craziest dare you've ever done?
Ooh.
Dare or bet? Can you say it on there?
No. I'm trying to think because I gotta go back though. You
haven't played that game in a while?
It's been a while, man. It's been like you talking about college years. Like I've done a lot of wild shit in my college years. So
tell me a story.
Let's come back to that. Give me another one. Give me something else. I got to think about that.
Do you bet? Are you a gambling man or not?
No, I'm not.
Do you buy lottery tickets even when it was at $1 billion? No.
He's an attorney. Why does he care?
No,
I'm just curious. I know wealthy people still buy a ticket.
There's a misconception about that. About like, first of all, getting into the legal field is shit. Dare I say, just as bad as getting into the MC field or getting to the music game. Like it's everybody's a lawyer, so you got to kind of find your niche. You know what I mean? Like I've been fortunate enough because I'm still an artist that I run into a lot of
artists who need attorneys.
Exactly. So, but shit, if you just because I get a lot of people that's fresh out of law school, a couple of years that want to get into this game and they find the struggles because they don't have those kind of connections. You know what I'm saying? So
everyone says like it's a small world, and I go, no, it's a big world, but every industry is small.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
This entertainment industry is small.
I don't know investment bankers like that, but I know artists, I know athletes, I know DJs, I know,
Yep.
The circle is small.
And it starts a domino effect because once, the word gets out on you about whatever it is, good, bad, or indifferent, then everybody knows and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Do people still gossip about you? Do you hear true or false things about yourself? TMZ kind of, do people talk
not
about
like,
I
kept my slate clean, but the one thing, again, going back to the skill, like, because again, I'm a student of the game. I am the culture. So I take pride in my pen. And when somebody says something because it's out of ignorance, because you haven't heard anything, again, when you pigeonhole me to one song and you try to say, oh yeah, he's whack, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really want to be like, I really want to sit motherfuckers down and strap them in a chair and have some big ass speakers and just play the whole catalog. You know what I'm saying? Because I guarantee you, when you get up, you'll have a totally different perspective. Those are the things that I find like when I, what do they call it? When you're on the net and you looking at shit, or like when you what's the word they use?
Ego search? Or?
No. It's called trolling. Trolling.
Oh,
Is that what they call trolling?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When you look, but
troll
I don't
people?
Keyboard warriors.
Yeah, but I don't respond. I just I read everything. So I'm just reading, certain comments under certain videos that are out there on YouTube, and I see people going back and forth. Like for instance, I don't know if y'all heard about, Nori, right? So Nori, on 2 episodes of Drink Champs, said that, Big bodied me. You know what I'm saying? He said it to C's and he said it to Jadakiss on 1 episode, like out of the blue. You know what I mean? Then he comes back on another episode with Meth and I forget, I think Raekwon was on there, and he said, yeah, because, we were talking about collaborations, and here I come again out of his mouth. Yeah, because, big body Tracey. I know he hates me for this, but big body Tracey. And so, I heard it twice, and I never responded. But I know that comes from a different place. It ain't really coming from a place of you actually heard the record and you thought I got bodied. What I think happened is, and I think this happened with a lot of cats in New York, because again, I came out of nowhere. I
got on the track with Biggie.
Exactly.
Because he didn't get to be, because you did not. That is that. Nori's my man. When we wrap this, I'm gonna cut this clip and I'm gonna send it to him.
I actually just saw him a couple nights
ago. I love Nori.
Yeah, I gotta highlight him. He can't run around saying that. You did not you went toe to toe and held it, bro. Like come on, stop it.
It goes back to the misconception. You know what I'm saying? So that's the part that I still think.
Well, also an idea is like a seed. Once it's planted, it sort of grows and takes hold. And then alcohol is a hell of a drug. They're sitting there drinking. And, an idea that he said once. That you got but also, once he said it once, that's a lyric in his head that he's going to repeat.
Because he said it.
He said it, and then now it grew, and he's thinking it.
But shout out to Jadakiss, because on that very same episode, he was like, "Nah, Nori, you got it twisted," and he's a lawyer. You know what I'm saying? Right. Because. Because there was this, he put this out in the air that Big made me retire, you know what I'm saying? And you never heard from me again, you know what I'm saying? And then Jada had to be like, nah, man, he's a lawyer and he still does records, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Come on, I'm cutting this up. I'm sending it to him.
But I love Nori.
Yeah, I love him too. He's the homie. That's my Bonchon chicken partner, but at the same time, nah.
Yeah.
Gotta put that liquor down. You're doing too much.
Right. And actually I did address it because I did this record called Smoke, but all I said was, he don't know no better. You know what I'm saying? Like he don't know no better. You know. See, the
only thing me and Tracey ever argue about when we get on Clubhouse and we start talking hip hop, the only thing we ever argue about is how we decide to treat younger artists.
Yep.
Tracey is soft as far as I'm concerned.
You're welcoming.
No, he's soft. I consider him soft.
He's right.
He's 2 seconds from giving out participation trophies, and I don't do that. Like
you know what Mac is.
And why is that? No, you're the guest, though. I want to hear why you do that.
Nah, well, okay, I'm gonna answer that. Yeah, but you know what Mech is for me? Mech is my alter ego. Mech is the guy that I wish I was sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like, because a lot of times I'll be wanting to be like, this nigga's corny, or he is whack, or you know what I'm saying? But I think I think the way I've always conducted myself was, and my wife would tell you this all the time, like, I don't like to argue. You know what I'm saying? I just don't. I'd rather not. I don't like the back and forth. You know what I'm saying?
What sign are you?
I'm a Libra.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. You understand then, right?
I'm an Aries. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I get it. So that's the reason why I'm always looking for the solution. Like if we're critiquing, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna tell you the bad part. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you what you can do better, but I'm gonna highlight the good parts too. You see what I'm saying? Like see, that's what I'm saying. See, Mech does what I wish I could do. Like I'd be like, you know what? Aside from all the shit that I
gotta say, drop the mic.
Exactly. Yeah, but that's why me and him get along. He's like the other side. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Cause it's trash. I'm never lying. It's trash, and nobody just wants to say it's trash. Bro. Like, no, you can't rap. How about that? How can we? You can't rap. And
Go back to
nothing
the
in
drawing board.
here entitles you to a space in rap. Like, I don't care how old you are. I don't care how young
Back to
you
the
are.
drawing board.
I don't care what
Start over.
neighborhood you came from. I don't care how many years you did in prison. I don't care what kind of car you own. I don't care what kind of belt you buy. I don't care what kind of gun you shoot. I don't care what kind of chick you bone. I don't care what kind of drugs you do. I don't care what kind of drugs you sell. I don't care how sick your mother is, how much
A lot of
drinks your
things Mecca
father
doesn't
takes,
care about.
how bad your sister is, how funky your aunt is, how fat your uncle is. I don't care how bad the school you went to was, how disrespectful the teachers could get, how neglectful the principal was, how bad the baby food was in the house. I don't want to hear none of that. I don't want to hear none of that. You suck. You
I love
suck.
it. I
And
love
you
it.
need to be a guidance counselor because you have all this firsthand experience with all these different issues in life, and you need to pull that collective experience and go help somebody else so they can be in a different career other than the one you've chosen, because you suck. You're fucking terrible. You're
Amazing.
horrible. And you're taking up space in this business, and it annoys the hell out of you. You suck.
This is
Oh
amazing.
man. Is
See,
there any
wait.
more? Yeah. Now
I
that's
thought it was done. I thought, is he done?
Yeah,
I'm finished.
I wish
Okay.
I'd have wrote all that shit down, man. That
No,
was
you can
brilliant.
listen. We can clip this and it'd be like,
Yeah, I
I don't
need
care.
that.
The I don't care button, not the easy button, but the I don't care button. I
Yeah,
don't
I
care
need
this.
that.
I don't care that. I don't care. Okay, I got a question though. You just said you don't like to argue and stuff, and we always talk relationships on here. We have like 2 seconds left on the
Sure.
show. But how long have you been married? Because
It'll be 11 years in April.
okay, congrats.
Yeah.
It's a nice long run.
Who is this
First
mystery
decade.
woman who managed to snag the great Tracy Lee?
Oh
And
man,
that was my
Lori
next
Lee,
question.
man, Lori Lee. But see, that's the advantage of getting married late. I got married when I was 40. You know what I'm saying? So we were done with everything else. You know what I'm saying? That's why we got a 6 and a 4-year-old. You know, because now I'm in a space where I'm able to handle it from a maturity perspective. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
yeah,
You
I
guys
encourage
both
people to
made
get married later. Huh?
I was about to say, I hear a lot of people beefing about why you wait till now to get married, why you wait till now to have kids, but it seems like the more stable parents and the more stable households I see are all people who waited till like after 35 or something to get busy.
You
Or
know
they
why?
figured it out
Because you don't know who you are.
Yeah.
You don't know who you are until later in life.
Is it different than how it used to be? Like people used to get married younger and
They got married out of necessity. They didn't get married out because they loved each other.
Right.
Because a lot of those marriages back then, they wind up sleeping in separate rooms by the time they just stayed married just cause. You know what I'm saying?
That was the ultimate. I look at those relationships as learning on the job because you don't have a choice.
Right.
You know, like if you were born on an oil rig, no one had to teach you how to run it, but you're gonna learn how to do it. It's either that or die. So it's like they didn't really have alternatives. Divorce really wasn't a thing. Cheating. That's why you hear about men with families on the other side of town, and not divorcing their wives, but
right.
You know, if you fast forward that same situation 10, 20 years and make him that age now, he just gets a divorce.
Yep.
Right.
He might have one kid, but he just gets a divorce, and then he goes start, and then he co-parents because all that stuff has been made socially acceptable.
Yeah.
But back then it just wasn't, so they just did what they needed to do. It was just different.
Is your music different because you're married and have kids now?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like I don't curse in my rhymes, you know what I'm saying? But I also do that not only for the fact that I have kids and I want everybody to listen to it, but I also do that from a writer's perspective, like, you know, just to show that, you know, real MCs don't have to use certain language, you know what I'm saying? If they don't want to. If you want to, like on Glory, I used 3 curse words and they were all to make specific points. Like I used the word, you know, in the old.
Don't tell us. You're not even supposed to curse up here.
Oh, you're not? Oh, okay.
Well, the interview's over now, but like,
okay.
We're at the tail end of it now. But
okay.
Keep going.
No,
you use 3 curse words.
But nevertheless, I used 3 curse words because I wanted to drive home a point. You know what I'm saying? But in the previous 2 albums, not a curse word in sight because it's the mastery of the craft. It's the words. It's the vocabulary. It's
my dad always says the cursing is for lazy people.
In a lot of times,
you can't think of another word. Yeah.
No, because exactly. You're looking for
F you. What do you really mean by that? Why are you mad at the person? Describe what they did. this is like counsel speak, but that's what he raised me to think. And so now when I use it, it's for emphasis, not for lack of
Yeah.
creativity or
My father's quote was
specificity.
cursing is the first language of the weak-minded. You
Facts.
curse first because you can't think of anything better to say. Fighting is the first response of the weak-minded. You fight first because you can't think of anything else to do. Not fighting. Violence is the first response of the weak-minded. You fight first because you can't think of anything better to do. So that all this makes total sense. Well, for anybody who's seeking
over here.
lyrical elevation or just plain old-fashioned law help, please tell everybody where they can find you.
Oh, absolutely, man. For all the music, merch, we have a book as well that's attached to the album Glory. It's called Glory the Manuscript. You can go to TraceyLeeMusic.com. That's TraceyLee music.com. Otherwise, I'm on IG, Tracey Lee ESQ. I'm on Twitter at Trey Lee, TrayLee. But the main place is TraceyLeeMusic.com.
Nice.
Okay, cool. We'll have your Instagram page up here for anybody who wants to go looking for you. And hopefully they go looking for you for the lyrics and not for the law. I don't want anybody in trouble in this bitch. Then again, if you're in trouble, go see Tracey Lee. Your worst days in life than having a super
that's
cool
why
MC
we made
as
the
an
book
attorney.
too, because the lyrics are all in the book too. So yeah, that's
okay, great. Like, yeah, I almost want to get in trouble just so I can say Tracey Lee was my lawyer. That's kind of cool.
That's kind of dope, right?
Yeah, it is. That is. You know what? Never mind. In the meantime, in between time, I'm your man, Mr. Mac.
And I'm Crystal Event.
This has been the M+M+M show, aka the show. May you live as long as you want and never want as long as you live. Do us all a favor. Go get laid. Peace.
That was dope. That was